Times episode 440. I'm from this undisclosed park area. Undisclosed park area with plenty of room to roam. Look at all that room you could roam. Or you could sit on a bench way off there in the distance. Lots to do with this park. And there's a gazebo, which is nice because it's raining. Now you might notice there's no QT Vokes here today. He had to meet his brothers, so he couldn't make this week. We'll have to reschedule QT. He's probably having a beer and a hot dog with his brothers as we speak. Possibly. Also, I never heard from Beast Barnett on what that bush was. Hopefully Beast Barnett will report back this week so I can report his findings next week. That'd be nice. But for the people that love the snaps my mask this week, the Ric Flair one. It sure is. And my Carneyland shirt. Look at that. Carneyland not in production right now because of shenanigans within the NWA office, but hopefully it will return. They were on the verge of electing a president. And there's a book I got for QT out of the little free library. I can't hand it to him today because he's not here. He's having brunch with his brothers. But when he gets it, he'll be reading about Pat Riley. Probably in his top 10 NBA coaches of all time, one would think. Book I got for Gregor Petrov. Look at that, I'm going to hand it to Petrov. He'll probably read it over the course of a couple of days, I would think. And the current book I'm reading, look at that. I'm probably like 2/3 through it now. 2/3. Pamphlet at the sign of the times. Every show needs a pamphlet. The Twitter where you can follow me, but not literally, much like King Marcus Anderson does, and much like Nick Iggy does. They both do. Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, which you may be watching right about now. Right about now you're probably watching it. And CAC program. No CAC in 2020. Hopefully when they reconvene in 2021 things will be copacetic. Everyone will be calm. Bob Cook works in that office now. Very lifelike portrait of John Lennon and Paul Freakshine. Very lifelike. There's Paul with the Freak Show. There he is with Zach Winters, who launched a new podcast with him and him. They sure did. They launched a new podcast. They answered questions about the Ultimate Warrior comic book from 1996. They sure did. And he said, we aren't going to talk much wrestling on this podcast, and then they talked for like 15 straight minutes about wrestling. There's Paul with his niece, Casey Carlisle. And if you go to CaseyCarlisle.com, that's CaseyCarlisle.com, you can get pictures like that. Or, if you're old enough, pictures like that. Or if you're QT or someone wants to get a gift for QT, pictures like that. If you're smaller, like Donnie Idol, pictures like that. If you're into large title belts, pictures like that. If you're a graduate of Hot Nurse University, pictures like that. If you're a fan of the NWA, pictures like that. If you really love large title belts, pictures like that. If you like Casey a little sultry, you can get pictures like that. If you're into lots of title belts, pictures like that. Or like that. Or if you like to see her angry, like that. Or if you like pictures of Team Bad Knees, you can contact the individual members and get pictures like those. If you're into Seymour Snot and Gouge, look at that. Look at that. Or if you really love JB Moonshine, who wouldn't? You can get t-shirts like that. He'll sell them to you and then stick them in the mail. I'm sure he's got like the post office that's open 2 days a week with the elderly postal worker there. And he's like, someone bought a shirt in New Hampshire, let's get it to them. And she's like, boo, howdy, let's get that shirt to them. And then he'll send it. This week, a busy week. QT very busy because he had to meet with his brothers instead of appearing here and receiving a Pat Riley book. But on Sunday this week on Turnbuckle Turmoil, we have Lennox Norris. Most people think we've been on tons of shows together. We have not. Never once to my recollection of I had been on a show with Lennox Norris. But he'll be on the show. QT will probably ask him 3 questions about Chuck Norris. And then 10 questions about probably like Lennox Lewis, the famous boxer. I don't know. Hopefully JB Moonshine will be on. He'll ask some questions, probably about Linux Norris Wrestling Bad Blood or something. But that's Sunday. On Monday, pretty much looking free. Except it's Hulk Hogan's birthday, so maybe we'll celebrate that by watching some Hulk Hogan matches. We're watching old episodes of Thunder in Paradise. That would be great. On Tuesday, that's pretty free. Wednesday, maybe I'll have a nice cup of tea somewhere. That'd be nice. On Thursday, that's pretty open. Next Friday on the show we have Samuel Conyers. He is out of Florida. Good young competitor, so we'll be talking to him. Hopefully QT won't ask him about Samuel Shepard or something like that. I don't know. But to review from this undisclosed park-like area, where there's plenty of room to roam here, even a gazebo up top. Sunday, Linux Norris will be on. He's been all over the place. Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan, I presume Ohio. Then Monday, Hulk Hogan's birthday. We'll celebrate with some Thunder in Paradise. Maybe some people will watch Rocky 3. Maybe some people will watch Gremlins 2. He was in a lot of things. So, Tuesday, pretty much free. Wednesday, maybe a cup of tea somewhere. Thursday, pretty open. Friday, we have Samuel Conyers. Samuel Conyers. Maybe Petroff will swing by this area to go fishing and pick up his book. He'll say, I need a book to read while the fish bite, and then he'll pick up his book. That's perfectly fine. As long as he doesn't try to slap me in his stump puller or hit me with a Russian sickle or something like that. But pretty much episode 440